everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Lena, and on today's video I am extremely excited to show you all how to change this old dresser into a 3-drawer dresser. If you're interested in learning more, please stay tuned. I cannot believe that I found this dresser on the side of the curb. Yes, it's in rough condition, but wow, and I actually found two. But I ended up giving one away to one of my best friends, and now I'm left with this one. So let's see what we can make out of it. To get a better look of what I'm working with, I went ahead and took out all of the drawers and laid the dresser flat onto the ground. And thankfully all of the drawers are in good condition, which makes for good material to work with. And I believe this is some sort of hardwood, so that's good. As for the frame of the dresser, is mostly made out of veneered particle board, and I noticed some damage when I was sweeping, when I was moving it earlier, and I looked on the bottom. You could definitely tell that there has been water damage and water exposure, or some sort of exposure, because the bottom of the drawers, these thin cardboards that are here, they're all wonky and out of shape. And then I believe that the top part of the dresser is made out of MDF and is a little scuffed up on the sides here. But overall, a good piece to work with. The first thing I want to do is take apart the drawers. I went ahead and got the impact and a Phillips bit and took off all of these hardwares already, and now it's time to take out the rest. I set aside the drawers for now, and I am now working on cutting the damaged portion off of the dresser, as I did to this side already. You can see here. And I'm going to be using the copping saw here, as well as a reciprocating saw or a hacksaw saw here to cut the other side. I am going to take this piece of scrap wood and make some legs out of it. I'm going to cut down 4 pieces to the length of about here with my miter saw. I have all of my leg pieces cut, and I'm going to place it to each corner. And this one I already started working on. I got a C-clamp to hold it together. I drilled in some pilot holes here, and with the screws that it already came with, just using what I have, I'm going to be attaching the screw with the leg piece to this whole portion here. C-clamp, and then this should be more stability for the dresser. I'm now working on cutting this portion off so that it will just leave me the legs. And I went ahead and used the reciprocal saw to cut through on both ends. So up here and down here. And I also used a 1/2 inch drill bit to give me space to cut along this line. So right now I'll make the other hole so I can meet it. Oh. I am going to be cutting off this back portion as well. I put some 2x4s underneath it, and it will give me some space to not hit the concrete. Alrighty, I am finished with cutting all of those pieces off, and even this backboard down here, and I want to see how it looks with it flipped back up. Let's check it out. Not too bad. It's a little janky, but I'll fix it. Pretty cool. Turned a 5-drawer dresser into a 3-drawer dresser. Good morning, everyone. It's a new day, and this is how the dresser is currently looking with 3 drawers back into it. And I am now going to get ready for sanding for my paints, which I only have a mixture of latex and enamel, so I do have to prep the piece by sanding and deglossing it, because it's a mixture of MDF on top, and on the side is particle board, and in the front, the drawers itself is some sort of wood. But I do want to lightly scuff it and probably start off with a sanding paper, like about maybe 120, so it's not too aggressive, and then that way it'll be ready for paint. After about 40 minutes of sanding, this is what we are currently looking at. I used a 120 grit sandpaper throughout, lightly scuffing it, making sure that I do not do it too aggressively to take off the entire veneer, because that's what is protecting the particle board and MDF. But just for a little more preparation before the paint goes on, I'm going to finish it off using a sander deglosser, which will help take off any other residue as well as old stain. So this is how it looks like. And I'm just taking an old shirt and wiping across. And we'll let it sit and dry for about 15 to 20 minutes before painting. I am super excited to start the painting process now. I went ahead and protected my work environment with some paper down below to catch the paint drops, as well as protecting my metal carts here that once used to be super rusty. Make sure you check out that video. And I like to have everything brought up to my height, and that way when I'm working, I'm not straining my back working on the floor so much. So I do recommend using a work desk or surface area that is elevated to your height to not hurt your back. And so that's why these carts come in handy. And as for the paint, we are using a Behr paint. I do not know the color because it came with the house and it's the wall colors of our dining room. So it looks like a soft khaki beigey color, which I think will look great on here. And a key tip is to wrap up your painting tray with some saran wrap, and that way it's easy cleanup when you're done. And right now on the sponge roller here, this is how it's coming out. Not too bad. I'm excited. As I wait for the third and final coat of paint to dry, I am going to start painting or spray painting the hardware in a flat black color. As I wait for the paint to dry on the dresser, I am going to take apart this beach tote that I found at Goodwill for $6. And the texture of it on the outside and both in the inside is a detail that I will be adding to the dresser. I have this seam ripper here that will help me take apart this old beach tote, and you can see on this side I already started the process. So I want this material as well as this material. And you could use either side of the seam ripper to help you get that. And start pulling it apart and using the seam ripper. This is what was inside, a woven straw type of material that I wanted to attach to the first drawer or the top drawer here, which had 4 different sections, and I wanted to add a textural element to it just by using some wood glue here, and make sure you have latex gloves to spread the glue, focusing on the edges of the surface, and that way so that this material could stick on really good, and then you could clean it up after with scissors, whatever is left over or like coming off on the edges. So I did an example already right here, and I'm just doing the same process, spreading it out. I'm using wood glue, but you could also use spray adhesive if you like. That would just cover your surrounding areas. Okay. And you want to be careful because the material itself is delicate and it's fraying, so you got to make sure you don't unfray it too much. And with the sections I cut a little bit of extra so that I have room to clean it up. Here is the before shot of the dresser when I first found it on the side of the curb. No legs, scuffed up on the sides here. All the drawers are wonky on the inside. And here is the after. It's been painted. I added the textured material on top. Down here, I just used what I had to make the legs. Inside the drawers, I'll show you. I decorated with some maps and globes and plants and books. I think it looks pretty awesome. Although I do want to show you down here, the particle board kind of chipped when I was moving it. So maybe when I have more money, I could replace the whole bottom piece with some actual legs. But until then, you know, I think it looks great. Here's the other side. And there you have it, everyone. I love changing something old into something new. I'm a big person on recycling and upcycling old things like this. And it's crazy how this was a 5-drawer dresser and now a 3-drawer dresser, which looks good in any room too. For my opinion, with some decor items, you can make it work. And the only thing I need to finish it off with is a top coat of some sort, like a polyurethane or a polyacrylic.